Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Yeah. Let's have a conversation. Oh, yeah. Look. Yeah. Hey. Let's have a conversation. Woo. Pick up some gems, life is all you make. Go. We keep it real, we don't talk to fake. Tell them hottest talk show on the net, coming for all the mates. Let's have a conversation. Woo. Pick up some gems, life is all you make. Go. We keep it real, we don't talk to fake. Tell them hottest talk show on the net, coming for all the mates. Let's have a conversation. Yeah. Let's have a conversation.
Hello, everyone. This is Michelle Biggs, CEO of My Best Everyday Coaching and Consulting, and the host of Real Conversations with Michelle. For those of you who are new to my platform, I am a professional coach with a focus on executive career and life coaching. And I started this podcast in 2020 during the pandemic with the goal to help people in a different way virtually, who we were going through different things. And we know that those times were very hard for a lot of different people. But my goal for this podcast is to talk about a variety of life topics with the hope that something that is shared, you'll be able to apply in a situation for yourself or in support of someone else. So tonight, my topic is financial wellness 101. And just like any other topic that I discuss, y'all, I want you to make sure that you do your homework, right? It's important that you do your homework to make sure that what is shared and what is said really does fit for you, right? It works for you. And so I'm going to get started. I'm going to bring up my guest, and I'm going to bring them up together, y'all, because they are a dynamic duo. Miss Robin and Mr. Elroy. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey. Look, I am so glad to have y'all on this podcast. One, because we've known each other for years.
Yes.
And we both started in this podcasting space. Because when did you guys start your podcast?
I think 2019.
Okay.
2019.
Yeah, 19.
Okay. So you started right before me. But this is a very important topic.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why I decided to cover this topic is because I know it can be a source of stress for people, right? When your money is funny, you're just not right all around, right? It impacts so much of our lives. But let me first start off by having you share a little bit about yourselves and what you do.
Well, I'm Robin Seegars, and as I'm a mom of two grown sons and a wife of this young man right here. Be 35 years in June, and and a veteran and CEO of Gifted Generations, as well as I serve at my local ministry, Raleigh North Christian Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And our passion is serving and helping people understand their money and do better with their money, to be honest.
Yeah.
Think about their money for real.
Exactly. Yeah. Roy, how about you?
So, born and raised from Greensboro, North Carolina. Shout out to my Aggies out there. You know, I'm a Shaw U grad. Served in the military. That's why I met my wife down in Florida. She was a meteorologist. I was a airfield management. We met at Patrick Air Force Base. Got married. She says been married 35 years. Celebrating this end of June.
Wait a minute. You said Robin was a meteorologist? Did you say?
Yeah.
Robin, I didn't know that about you. All these years I've known you, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weather girl. Yeah, weather girl. Weather girl. Yeah. And like she says, two boys. Love what I'm doing. My passion is actually helping out people. But I know my first ministry is my home. Yeah. And if I can keep my home in place, then I can extend to help my tools that I have used at my home, outside of my home, to help others. I serve Raleigh North Christian Center with the Dementia there for finances. I've done many financial teaching tutorings across, Raleigh. I love the fact that I can I'm a coach.
Right.
I'm a speaker. I like to speak to the crowds. I teach crowds, young kids, and we're just trying to give back to the community because we know,
Mhm.
as you said, finance is going to be very stressful, and we try to dethrone the stress so you can handle your everyday living a whole lot better.
Yeah, I attended a networking event earlier today, and
Hmm.
I was telling two people I was speaking with, I said, I'm doing this podcast tonight.
Hmm.
And I said, I really wish um, they teach this in college.
Yep.
I really
Amen. You
wish
said it.
they teach this in college, if not earlier, but especially in
Mhm.
college, because I don't know
Yeah.
about y'all, but I went into debt at college because, of course, they were giving out credit cards,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah. It's
And then
easy.
credit approved us, and of course, like many people who go to college, you leave and you have this extra debt that really you did not need, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so thankful for what you guys do. So we'll talk a little bit
Hmm.
about that. But let's kick off. Let's kick off. I
Kick
want
it,
to talk
kick
about
it off, girl. Kick it
let's
off.
kick it off. What is financial wellness? And consumerfinance.gov um, came up with the very first ever definition of financial
Hmm.
wellness and financial well-being. And it said having financial security and freedom of choice, both in the present and in the future. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with that, but to expand on it, financial wellness is also your relationship with money.
Mm,
Amen.
Do
yeah.
you have a positive relationship where you had someone in your life that you saw handling the money well and
Hmm.
talking about investing, talking about savings, or did you have someone in your life that was having fun with the money and worry about the
Hmm.
bills later?
Mm,
So
mm,
because you go by what you've learned in your environment.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is your relationship with money?
That's
Do
Yeah.
good.
you have a good
Y-
relationship or a negative relationship?
That's good,
yeah.
Robin. Elroy, anything you want to
Mhm.
add to that?
Yeah. I caught something you just said in the statement. You said freedom of choice,
Freedom of choice.
and
Mhm.
Yeah.
when you're tied down to debt, your choice is no longer freedom. It's a
Yeah.
commitment of you having to pay what you promised, what you committed to on back. It's something you sign or you agree to. That choice is no longer free. That's
Mm,
committed, man. So, well,
mm-hmm.
then when you say freedom of choice, that's saying that I'm free of any kind of commitments. I can do and plan what I have a lot better. I'm not obligated to do this. I'm not obligated to pay for that. When you said freedom of choice, that's exactly correct. You're allowed to have yourself to do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and when you want to do it. Your planning is more essential when you have a freedom to choose.
Yeah. Because
And
let's
if
let's face it. Go ahead, Robin.
and if you're financially well, that means you have
Hmm.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Yeah.
means
Because
you
it's not
have
about how much.
options. You have options when
Amen.
you're
Amen.
financially well.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you're not,
Yeah.
when you're sick, financially sick, like you're
Yeah.
a slave to your debt.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things I was going to say. I mean, you really are handcuffed in terms of what you
Oh
Mhm.
can
yeah.
do.
Most
Mhm.
definitely. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
you're definitely
Most
handcuffed.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Because it's not about how much you make either. It's how you utilize what you make. It can be a little or a lot. So it's how you manage that money, regardless of the amount that you make.
and that's important. That's important because I think a lot sometimes we can get caught up in um
The
the
number games.
numbers.
How much
Mhm.
you
And,
make.
and
Mhm.
and yeah, there's poverty is poverty, right? So some
Mhm.
people are
Yes.
really trying
Hmm.
to make ends meet, right? So I don't want to dismiss that.
Right.
But
Right.
it is really, and you guys talk about how do you manage what you have to make the best of
Right.
what
Mhm.
you have, right?
Right. Right. Right.
You may need to get, I
Correct.
mean, maybe your choice to get another job because you're trying to do, you may have some dreams that you have and things like
Hmm.
that. So you may have to do some other things to support that dream.
Hmm.
But what we're talking about is how do you better manage what you have, right? And
Right.
you're not getting yourself, or if you're in debt, how do you get yourself
Hmm.
out of debt? How do
Right.
Right.
you best manage what you do have, your budgeting habits and things like that, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
It's a conscious choice what you're doing with your money. We're in a society now where it is so easy to swipe, tap. You don't put your card in your account, order stuff, and just come to your door. So you're not even thinking about your money. You're not even logging into your bank account. We've made it so easy to buy things, and no one's checking their bank balance. What is a bank statement? That no one knows about that. So it's a conscious choice to be engaged in your finances. You have to be aware of what you're doing. That's the only way it's going to work.
Yeah. You said something. You said something about, you might have to get another job, and that's true. Sometimes you got to find another source of income. But me and Robin, actually, we have coined the phrase, and it's copyrighted too. And the phrase is same money, new level.
Okay.
Which means, if you can manage what you have, you can actually go to different levels using the exact same money you have.
Okay.
Not getting an extra job. It's about managing where you're at and not above it. Not going and overextending yourself. A lot of times we overextend ourselves.
Exactly.
We put too much on credit. Because what happens is this right here, Michelle. Somebody said, get a credit card. They say, $25 a month ain't bad. $30 a month ain't bad. $40 a month ain't bad. And that number keeps getting bigger and bigger. $100 a month ain't bad. So you're looking at the ain't bad amount, but they forget about the total bad amount.
Right.
So the $100 is a month, but now you got like $2,500 a month on the credit card. That's bad. So we look at, this ain't bad, but in the back end, the total amount, it can be bad. So we always say same money, new level, and we help people to manage at that level and to get out of debt at the pace that they just can't believe sometimes.
Yeah, and when you said that, what I often think about are really credit cards, right? Because we'll spend money, and some people will pay the minimum payment, maybe because they can't afford anything else, or they're trying to manage all these expenses. And you could spend years trying to pay off the debt,
12,
right? And oftentimes you're paying more than you even borrow. But we'll get into that in a minute. What I want to talk about is talk a little bit about your journey in this space personally. How have what's been your evolution?
That's good.
Okay.
Your evolution in terms of managing money for yourselves.
So for me growing up, I had a mom, I had a dad that they both worked, but my dad come from the school of I'm gonna get what I want, and I give my wife what's left to pay the bills, and she had to make it work. So I had both. I had one that was a spender, and then the one that had to make whatever was left work for the rest of us. So I adopted her principles of making sure all bills are paid. So I adopted a positive view, not his view. Praise be to God. But as when we got married, we were young, so the money wasn't flowing like that. We had what we needed. So there was no real plan. What if $100 came in? That was needed to take care of the family, $100. So there was no like, we're going to save, we're going to invest. No, what came in was used for the family, no extras. But what was the tipping point is back in, I think about 2000. We started making more money, but we still were short. And I'm like, something's not right, because I was just as I used to do, pay the bills when it came in. I had no strategy, no plan. And Elroy was like, okay, no, because I was getting seriously stressed out. He said, what we're going to do is watch how we spend for 30 days and see where the money is going. And that's what we tell our clients. Watch it. Just spend normal like you normally do for 30 days. Then sit down and analyze where you're spending that money. So once we found out where the money was going, he said, okay, we need to cut back. And he put us on the budget. And I'm like, and people say budget. Oh my goodness. Budget is what you make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you like to do certain things, you can add that to your budget. You just don't do it as often. So when he put us on a budget, it was like, oh my goodness. But And from it was a January we went on this budget. By June we had saved $12,000. This was coming from months before. Just
couldn't see the penny
bills
because you're
not
just
adding
spending.
up.
Yeah. And I tell you,
$12,000
every year before I file my taxes, I'll pull out my expense summary. And let me tell you, and I get a gut check. Because as you said, when you look at that, you realize, at least I realize, it's like when I saw Amazon. I was like, okay, all right, Lord, you got me going.
Well, you know, and that's
the enemy.
Amazon,
look, and that's not bad.
Look, I'm not talking bad of Amazon, but I'm just
well, that's not bad though. I mean, you can do that. You can do those things. And my goal is my principle is like saying, as long as you take care of the end of the month.
Right.
You know, so put like this here. You know, if you got cash, you're gonna go get gas. You know, most people they do buy gas with a debit card. I don't see too many people putting gas on credit. I mean, but some people do. But for the most part, you pay. You go get $5. You come back out. You put $5 in your gas in your car.
Right.
So that same principle got to be used when you're using a credit card. I'm gonna spend $10 on a credit card. I'm gonna pay it off at the end of the month. We typically don't do that because the way I was raised, I'm the baby boy, so I was forced to go with my mama. Everywhere she went, I had to go shopping, and I saw how she down there a little bit, took a 5 and 10 out, and I saw how she was, doing the money, and I just would ask questions, and what about this, what about that, and I was just one of those nosy kids, but she always answered the questions, with a delightful answer. But this is why I do this. So those things started to resonate. I didn't realize it at that time. As I got old on my own, those same principles stuck with me. How to cut corners, how to save. You go to the grocery store, you can see the different sizes, which one you save money on, the paint size, or the quart size. So those things always was in me, but I didn't never draw them out until I got married. Because when you're single, you just spend the way you want to. So me and Robin came together, and we just had to be wise about our spending. Because having a family and stuff like that, we wanted to make sure we was doing right by not just by us. By the kids and by the spiritual principle of tithing and stuff like that. Now I can't say this, and I say this in a lot of the podcasts. If I would have listened to my wife earlier about just small investments, we're great now. We would have been great years before. My wife, she always wanted to invest. I'm like, and as a man, our job, we see it as though take care of the house, take care of the bills, make sure things are paid. So I wasn't into 401k. Who is that, Mr. K? I mean, you know about it, but I was like, my job is to make sure we eat every day. So a future investment wasn't on my horizon. Yeah. But my wife always saying, we gotta put money away. I'm like, we ain't doing that, girl. We ain't got pop pissy, type stuff. Yeah. But we had money to make ends meet and have a great life. Yeah. And then as we started this journey on financial wealth, I mean, I still had a same spreadsheet from 15, 20 years ago. I can show you our history. We started changing our mindset. And we started changing our mindset, things started to flow. We was always on the same page, but it became more unique, more understanding when we started relating to one another about where we are and where we want to go, dreams, aspirations, and stuff like that. Then it became a matter of let's do right by the spiritual principle, and let's see where this thing can go from. And then we just started getting blessed with better jobs, higher pay, raises, and stuff like that. And we just start listening, to our spiritual sense, and then being guided by that. And we rely on one another. We don't let any outside influences interfere with our plan.
Yeah, which is important as a couple for sure.
Oh yes,
being on the same page. And I apologize, y'all. I was looking at, for some reason, this did not start off on Facebook, so I just had to make sure it started off. Facebook is always changing something just a little bit, so it should be live on Facebook now. But I love, and one of the reasons I wanted you guys to share your journey, because you are practicing and coaching what you've had to live, right? Which is very important as coaches, that we can, there's a relatable aspect of what we do, right? Because we lived it, which helps a lot in terms of credibility and things like that.
Most
so
definitely.
I love to hear when folks have lived what they're doing.
Mhm.
And you guys have definitely done that. Where do you find that people go wrong when they're developing their financial goals?
They making them too big,
Mm-hmm.
meaning I have a $10,000 debt on a credit card and I'm gonna pay it off in 2 weeks. You know, they make it unrealistic because they want it done and gone.
Yeah.
But you setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Because when it doesn't happen, now you're mad and you're gonna go back to what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So don't make your goals too big. Make them attainable. Take baby steps at first.
Yeah.
They don't have to. And once you start feeling it, and you start feeling good about yourself because, oh, I did that. Okay, I did this. Then it'll start growing, and then you can start attaining larger goals. But you have to be realistic and make them small, attainable goals, and then start building from there.
Yeah.
Let me add something. Let me ask you two other questions. When you have an accident and your car's all busted up, and someone comes out and check your car, what is that person called? It's like
An
what?
Adjuster.
Right. But he has to come out and do. He or she got to come out and do what? An assessment of the damages, right?
Right.
So we have to do an assessment of the damages that we have done or what we have incurred. A lot of people don't make an assessment of where they are.
Right.
And once you make that assessment where you are, you can then form a plan of what you want to do.
All right, Professor. Okay. But you're right. But it's sort of like what you said earlier. What you and Robin did is you looked at what you were doing for 30 days, right? So you can kind of get a sense of where am I overextending ourselves, right? And what can I adjust, right? What I need to do differently. Yeah.
And another thing, you have to write it down because you know what, most people out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
If it's not written down plain in your eyesight every day, you're gonna forget about those goals. You're gonna forget about what you're trying to do. So get in the habit of writing down your goals, your dreams, write it down, and then keep it somewhere that's visible. So that as you're attaining, I'm a checklist type of person.
Yes.
So I like to see when I didn't cross something off or I checked it off. It makes me feel good because I'm working through my list.
Right.
Write it down. I do not go from memory because that's how you forget things.
Yeah.
That's how you skip things.
Yeah.
Write it down. And then even if you have to assess it every Sunday evening, sit down and assess your list for the week before and what you need to do the week coming up.
Yeah.
You gotta find time for yourself.
You have to. You have to be engaged. You have to be.
Yeah, I'm very big on when I'm coaching my clients on setting SMART goals, right?
Yeah.
Specific,
SMART goals.
Attainable,
right?
All that time bound, right? And to your point, establish some kind of cadence where you're going back and revisiting where you are. So you know if you have to pivot, right? Where you have to pivot.
Right.
So
because you can't set goals today and then wait till August and go back and look at them. No, you're too far out.
No.
Right.
You're too far out. You could have made an adjustment that earlier if you'd have known you too far
Keyword
out.
adjustment.
So get in the habit of checking once a week. I would say once a week.
Yeah.
Good
stuff. Anything else you want to add, Roy?
No, I like the words you're using, pivoting, make adjustments, because sometimes we're so stringent on ourselves that causes stress. I want to achieve this goal so bad, we don't realize. I want to say, I want to go on this trip, right? And I want to save X, Y, and Z money for it, and we don't achieve the amount we're trying to save. That's okay. You can still go on that trip. You can still plan, but you gotta understand. Hey, I didn't save $1,000. But I sure say $750. There's still victories in what you say. You didn't save the amount that you wanted for, but you say something up to that amount. So I always tell people, you got sometimes look at the small victories, and not always say you missed that mark. Because for me, I always have 3 goals: the most you can save, the least you can save, and probably what we're going to hit.
Right.
So you can see if everything goes as planned without any emergencies, you're going to make this much.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of emergencies, this much.
Yeah.
But you know what? A little bit. we're gonna be back here. And a lot of times we hit the median because something always happens in life that's gonna knock you off that trail. But you gotta get back on and continue. A lot of times we get knocked off, man. We forget to get back on that train. We just like we gotta get back. We gotta get back up. We gotta get back up and stick to the plan that we have because it's a plan. And it does change. You do gotta pivot. You do gotta alter sometimes.
Yeah. And the thing is that you do pick back up. And we talked a little bit about that during my last episode. And it was about fitness and health. But it's the same thing. Sometimes we may come off track, right? You can't be defeated by that. You just get back up and start again, right?
The principles are the same. Principles are the same.
What factors should we consider when setting financial goals?
Maybe.
The size of the goal you want to set with also long-term, short-term, mid-term goals.
Okay.
Have those categories. And then the sizes, just put them in, like I said, write it down, put the size of each goal, the priority, and how long you're going to give yourself to achieve that goal.
Okay.
So you
I want to make sure.
plan.
I want to make sure I understood the question. Say it again, Michelle. The question.
What factors should we consider when setting financial goals?
Okay. All right. So Robin's spot on. You know, one thing, a factor that I always consider when setting the goal is that if you're married, you need to consider your spouse about goal setting. Because you can have an individual goal and she can have an individual goal, but it still got to be some common goals. My individual goal, I want to lose 30 pounds. Her individual goal, I want to make sure I do more reading. Joint goal, we want to make sure we save money for retirement. So you know, it can be multi-purpose, multi-focus, but there got to be a common ground where it involves the family, the spouses that you're gonna have to come together on and still track your own individual goals, because this is a financial class, financial thing, but these kind of goals can help you out in every aspect of your life, not just in finance. It's the exact same principle that can apply to so many levels in life. We just got to be mindful of those things and be proactive. You know, like I have a accountability partner. The good thing about me and Robin, one, we're not both big spenders, we're not big savers. We balance between spending and saving. When we have goals, we set them and we achieve those goals. And we set long-term goals. For example, you know, we're like, hey, we want to go see our son in a couple of years. So we start saving now for that 1.5 year goal. We don't wait 6 months and put it on a credit card and pay the man and he's getting all our money. We start saving a little bit at a time, putting that money away. So when it comes time to make that plane ticket, we got all the money or a majority of it, so there's not a big hit.
Right.
What we do, we don't do that.
Right.
We go out, we plan late and last.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Christmas come around the same time every year.
Yeah.
Well, how much money do that?
I know. And people
how much money? Exactly. How much money do the credit cards make up for us every year at Christmas? Crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy amount. You know, so why don't we just put things away? Why are we paying now? Why can't we pay ourselves?
Yeah.
Invest in us. So Robert and I, we invest in ourselves because I ain't paying nobody else. I'm gonna use what I've established. And it's like, and we say, well, you know what? We fell short of saving $1,000 for the kids this year. So kids, you only get $750 for gifts this year. I'm not putting the last $250 on the credit card. It's $750 and that's it. So you gotta realize what you're getting yourself into and not over.
Boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to.
And also, Elroy said he has an accountability partner. For those that are single and don't have accountability partners, find someone that you see is doing well with their money and they got speaking with a clear head and they setting you see them, you hear them. Join up with them and see if they will be your accountability partner. Because single people, if you don't have that, then unless you're seriously disciplined, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a balancing act too, because you don't have two spenders, you want to have two savers. You want to have a spender and a saver. Someone's going to help you. Hey, you know, girl, you need to go out a little bit. Guy, why aren't you doing X, Y, and Z? You're saving so much, you're not enjoying your earnings. Yeah. Right. So you need somebody to pull you out there. You also need somebody, you spending too much, slow down.
Mhm.
So it has to be a balance between the two. And it does work as long as you trust in that person that's your accountability department.
Yeah.
And if you're married, it's your wife or your husband. It ain't a
Right.
friend. It's internal. It's
Right.
internal.
And
Right.
it's
If you're
funny with
married, yeah.
Elroy. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
funny with me and Elroy. We flip a lot because there's
Yeah,
times
yeah.
he's like, let's go shopping. Like, no, 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 no. And then it's time I'm saying, let's go shopping. He's like, oh, no, 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 no.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
we
Well,
balance
but it
each
is
other out.
you're balancing each other
Mhm,
out.
mhm, mhm,
But
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, we
hearing you
do.
say more importantly is y'all got to have that check and balance, because if both of y'all
Yes.
are
mhm,
We're checking
saving,
in. We're checking in with each
yeah,
other.
you got to check in.
mhm.
Yeah, absolutely
We're checking
important.
in. We're checking in. We're checking in. Most
Good
definitely.
stuff. Good stuff. For someone who has a lot of debt, what should they be
Mm-hmm.
thinking about to manage it better?
Dave, I would let Robin go first.
First of all, they need to make a list of where all that debt is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who you owe? What is this debt?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything until you know what the debt is, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have to decide: was a lot of these things needs or wants? We get that
Mm-hmm.
mixed up. There's things that
Mm-hmm.
we absolutely need, and there's things that we absolutely want. Now, my needs and wants may be different from your needs and wants. So it
Mm-hmm.
can't be that everybody needs and wants are the exact same
Yeah.
thing, except
Right.
for air and water. But in
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah.
it can
Mm-hmm.
change. So you have to find out where you're spending your money, determine if it's
Mm-hmm.
needs and wants, and then go from there. What can I cut back on?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say cut out everything,
Mm-hmm.
because when you deny yourself, that's when it hurt the most,
Right.
and
Right.
Yeah.
you wind up failing. So
Yeah.
just start slowly cutting back on things. If you used to going out Friday night every night, eating dinner with your girls,
Yeah.
maybe only go twice a month,
Yeah.
and just start slowly cutting back. Don't
Yeah.
cut back completely cold turkey, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
I've
and
seen
that's
it.
and
I've
that's the
seen it.
truth for any kind of goals that you're setting. If
Mm-hmm,
you try to go
mm-hmm.
cold turkey,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
you'll
You
end up
suffer.
not sticking with it
Mm-hmm,
because you are depriving yourself of
mm-hmm,
everything. So I
mm-hmm.
like what you said about
Yeah.
just sort of how do you prioritize
Yeah.
Right,
what, and it may be that you
So
do have to cut back, right? Go ahead,
right.
Roy.
right. So for me, it's the exact same thing like for Robin. I always say inventory, inventory, inventory. You
Mm-hmm.
got to know how much debt you in. A lot of times we don't take inventory of what that debt is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Car, house, credit cards, doctor's bills, you know. And even though it's not debt, it's a recurring expenses you have. Groceries, gas, those things are recurring. It's not a debt, but it does count towards your finances, your debt. So you got to prioritize how you're going to get out of that. So when I say managing that, I don't say you want to manage that. I want to say you want to manage getting out of it.
Yeah.
Because when you manage into it, it's like saying you're going to stay in it. Right. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to stay stuck in the
Mhm.
quicksand. I want to
Yeah.
manage my way to
That's
get out of
good.
it. So
Mhm.
managing to a minimum payment is great. But what can you do to pay a little bit more to get rid of that? Right. There's
Yeah.
different rules, snowball rules, the higher interest rate, the lower the balance rule. So there's different ways to approach it. Is what works best for you, because some say get the highest interest and pay for that one. Some say get
Right.
the lowest balance, pay for that. Some say, so the different things. You can find so many things on the internet. So the thing is, like, find somebody that can teach you the rules, that can
Mm-hmm.
go with you side by side. And for me, when I'm with someone, I'm with somebody, you know what I always say? I say we. I don't never say you, because you feel so alone. So I say, this is what we gotta do next.
Okay.
Not what you gotta do next. It's like,
Right.
it's just me. So I said, this is our plan. I'm like, I'm gonna help you. So I'm always speaking as terms of we, ours. So your debt is mine also, but you got to be the one responsible for
You
it.
got to own it. You got to own it.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to own it.
Roy,
So
talk a little bit
it's about
about,
inventory.
because there
Go
is, and
ahead.
you alluded to this, there's so many different ways to manage
hmm
debt in
hmm hmm
particular, right? Paying
Mhm.
off highest interest rate.
hmm
Talk a little bit about each of those a little bit. You mentioned snowball, which I never heard of that term before, but can you give us a
So
little bit
yeah, so
about?
so snowball is one of the easiest one. It doesn't really work on interest rate. It really works on the lowest amount that you have on your balance. You got one
Okay.
credit card bill that's $200. You got one credit card bill that's $1,000. You got something a doctor bill that needs $1,500. So you're looking at the lowest amount. And let's say you pay $50 on that amount, right? And now you get that $50 and that bill is now paid off. You take that $50 you was paying on that bill and you now take it and attach it to the next bill, that's the lowest amount. So now that bill you was paying before was like $35. Now it becomes $85. So you're paying more than the minimum now. Then now that's paid off, right? You take that $85, you go to the next lowest bill. You just keep going until you're able to pay off all those
take
bills.
what you were using to pay one bill and apply it now to the next. Okay.
And you don't take the extra money and say, "Oh, I got extra money now, and I got $50 now." No, that $50 roll over to the next bill till you knock that one off.
Yeah.
And some people do the interest rate. They say put your credit your bills in the amount of which one has the highest interest rate. And sometimes the highest interest rate may not line up with like the one as far as the least amount. You know what I'm saying? So you may have a low interest rate on something that's $12,000 balance. And you have one that's a high interest rate that has a $50 balance. So you got to kind of look at the interest rate / the balance, kind of like make them go side by side. So if you got one that's close, you got one that's $10,000, one that's $9,000. One interest rate is at 20%, one is at 12. Well, let me go take care of that 21 first because that was going to grow and accrue more money faster than a 12.
Yeah.
You
And
know
the
what I'm
other
saying?
thing
So
I
the
don't
amount
think
is
people
different.
realize they can do as well is you can call the credit card company and see if they will lower your interest rate or do something with you to help you. And a lot of times they don't do that.
Right, because they'd rather for you to pay than not pay at all. So they'll work with you to lower interest rates or to lower or give you a 0% for a little while because they want their money. So they're willing to work with you. So don't be afraid to call them and ask them what can they do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's it.
Do's and don'ts for building credit.
Rob, you want to go? You want me to
say
go?
that again? What was the question?
Your do's and don'ts for building up your credit, right? Because there are times when you're trying to you may try to buy something and they're like your credit is not where it needs to be, right? So what are some ways that someone can build up their credit?
Okay, I'm gonna say the don'ts. Go ahead, Robin, first.
No,
go ahead, Robin. I was gonna say don't get a bunch of credit cards. Don't open no new accounts, right? That's gonna cause your account your score to go low. Don't go out and get a lot of inquiries in your account. The inquiries sometimes cause your credit score to go even lower too. Pay off cards that you said you're gonna pay off. You know, you don't want to you pay your bills on time. You know, I always try to make sure that when the bill comes in, it's paid for. You know, having a business, you understand the business. You have a business bill every month because you have this platform. You got to pay for it. So this is not a debt. This is a business expense that you're gonna always have. So is that a debt? No, it's not a debt. It's an expense that you understand that you're gonna have. See what I'm saying? So you gotta understand those kind of things. This may sound crazy. I think one of the best debt builders is this here, the federal government.
Say more.
You know, student loans and house payments are some of the best credit bills as long as you pay for them on time.
Right.
If you pay for a student loan on time for 6 months or 12 months, that score is going to start to change because you're showing that you are being credible for paying this bill on time. It's bad if you got a student loan, but that's one thing that you can always use to build credit because that's a federal loan. That's a federal aid type thing. So credit cards do help. But a lot of times when you don't use that credit card properly, you got a credit card balance of $1,000. I mean, $1,000 limit, and you got $750 on a credit card. Your score gonna go lower because you over the maximum amount to loan against that credit card. So you got to understand those rules. Well, I got $250 less, so I got some spending power. No, you don't. You got less spending power because you over that number that they look at as far as having a higher credit score. And 1 or 2 points starts to add up over time. The more credit cards you got maxed out, the lower that score is going to be.
Okay.
So, Robin, I'll let you feed into that too.
And I mean, you said everything, and also just remember that your credit cards impact your credit score.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not paying on time, if you're not paying at all, your credit score will take a big hit because of those credit cards. So be careful with that. If you think you're getting away with something and you go to get an apartment, because our society works on credit scores. I don't care what anybody. There's some financial people that say don't have a credit score. I'm sorry, but our financial system is based on credit score. You have to have a credit score to get a lot of things. Even wealthy people have to have some kind of credit history for businesses to loan to them. So you have to protect your credit score. So don't have a whole bunch of credit cards open all at the same time. I had a friend that had a wallet full of them, and it was like, okay, telling people, try this card. I mean, a stack of them. And it's like, what in the world? It's like, no, don't do that. So just remember, your credit score is tied to all the loans and the credit cards.
Yeah. I mean, even nowadays, they're using utility bills as part of your credit score. They're using utility bills as part of your credit score. They're using different things. Oh yeah, you're paying your rent. That's not part of your credit score, but it goes towards as far as your power to get another apartment.
Right.
So there's different things that can impact you. But they begin to change some of the rules. That's good for people who doesn't have a credit card, who has not established anything. So they're trying to give a little bit more for those who don't have credit cards, don't have a card, don't have a history.
You have a history.
Right. So that's one of the ways they're trying to do. And that's more things that they're trying to do also. That's just one of the things they're trying to do.
Yeah. And one of the things, and I don't know when I found out the whole inquiry piece gets counted towards your credit score. But be careful when you're wanting to go get a car and you're and you're asking people to run your credit. Every time you do that, right?
Because they see it. Oh, they looking to spend more money because that's what they see it as. You're looking to spend more money.
Yeah.
So shopping around for the best price. You know, for me and Rob, we keep our credit locked at all times, so there won't be any inquiries because you can't acquire just a locked account. Right? So we keep ours locked up.
And the same thing for because one of the things that I did do probably mid-career is I used to get a lot of store credit cards, and then there were a point in time I'm just like, why am I doing that? Like, I don't need a card for every store. Just let me have one card that I'm using and let that be it. Right.
And don't close it either. Let it close by itself. Don't close it because that causes you to lose points. Let them shut it off for you, and it kind of fades away versus you saying, close this account. Okay, boom, there's a hit.
Okay, didn't know that.
You pay the card off, and they be like, no, because you haven't used it, we're gonna get rid of the account, and that doesn't hurt you as much as you
because
just
if
close
you close
it on the
it,
active account.
It affects your credit score.
Right.
Did not know that.
So
Good
don't. So when you get your card down to zero, do not close them.
Do not close it.
Thinking it's going to help you, that hurts you.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. So some myths we must overcome about cash management.
Go ahead, Robin. That's all you, girl. That's all you.
Let me tell you, I know. You know, I grew up, I don't know if my mom and dad had savings accounts, checking accounts, anything like that. You know, grandparents definitely kept stuff underneath the bed mattress. Right. But let's talk a little bit about that.
What about the stash
cash
money?
Management.
Cash management. The myth.
Okay. The myth. Some people say that it's a myth that budgets are strict. They're not. It's what you make it. If you like to go to the movies every week, just put it, add it in there. If you can make it a line item in your budget, and then figure out how to cut back and not go every week. Maybe go 3 times a month. Maybe go twice a month. It's what you make it. A lot of people think once they hit budget, they got to stop living. You don't have to. You don't have to. You just allow a line item for the things that you like to do. You just don't do it as often, right? Let me take these glasses off because I can't read without my glasses. It's too much work to keep a budget. That's not true. Once you get the habit, get used to it, it's easy to maintain. It's putting the work in up front. Like I always say that you're going to pay now or pay later. I'd rather put in the work now and enjoy myself later then enjoy it now, and then later you looking like somebody need to help me. Budgeting means giving up the things you like. Not true. Broke people don't need a budget. Yes, you do. You definitely need a budget.
Yeah.
Say that. That's why you're broke.
You need a budget.
Well, and look, and even people with money need to have a budget, because you could be, I mean, when I sit back and think about how I'm spending my money, and when I look at, like I said, look at my, of course, now we're doing taxes, right? So I'm looking at my expense summary, and I'm like, I ain't need all that stuff. Like, I could have put that towards something else, right?
Right.
So it really is a reality check. Yeah, reality check. So no matter where you are financially, being able to look at what you're doing and how you're doing it. I mean, having money may afford you to do more things, but you can get crazy with it even if you have money, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
The other thing is budgeting is only for people who struggle to pay their bills. Not true. You can use a budget no matter what. It don't have to be for people that are struggling to pay bills. And a budget doesn't work because you always have unexpected expenses. It still works. You just adjust it for those unexpected expenses.
Well, and the bottom line is, if you're budgeting and you're saving, and you're kind of doing everything that encompasses what financial management is, then you can do some of the things that you're wanting to do. To your point,
yes,
it's not just about managing your debt. It's also about planning for some things that you want to do.
Planning for your future.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Robin, are you friends to this, Robin? You friends to this?
Yes.
So here's another one I wanted to add to that. Another myth bust. It's like saying, what did I do with extra money? Right. Well, there's no such thing as extra money. Every dollar that you have should have an assignment.
Okay.
Every dollar. So when you get paid, you should have every dollar accounted for. Tithing, groceries, gas, a lot of for everything. You know, if you're gonna have a Christmas fund, boom. So let's say you get a pay raise, right? And now you're getting $85 extra paycheck. Well, you need to go back to your budget and say, now what I'm gonna do with this $85? Oh, I got $85 extra. No. Put it somewhere. It can still go to savings. That's fine, because you put it somewhere. I'm not saying it has to go on a bill. I'm saying you got to take that money and put it somewhere. Give it an assignment. Assign that dollar to something, so that when you get paid, you know where everything is flowing to. My emergency fund, $50. My 3 to 6 money fund, $100. My Christmas fund, $10. My retirement fund, give it some money. Okay, going out to eat, going to the movies, house payment, car payment, gas. Oh, okay, I'm good. Everything has a dollar. My personal spending money, which me and Robin, we give ourselves every time we get paid. We give ourselves a personal spending money, and that's an amount. And once we get that money, we don't account for that for every receipt unless we want to. We know that's a line item. Robin $50, Robin $20. Boom. I don't track that no more.
You only give a Robin $20, Roy? Come on.
No, I'll give him more than that. I'll give him more than that. It's a lot more than that.
Come on now.
Look, I give myself 20 and spend $1 and still have more than Robin.
Don't be putting her business.
That ain't even right.
Yeah, don't even put it. Robin, I know it's the other way around.
I'm a shopper. I'm a shoe fashion bag. Yeah. I'm a shopper and the saver. And Robin, and I can say this about my wife, Robin. She really does get on board very fast. If I say, hey, in the middle of the night, hey, we need to change that screen app, she's okay. And I'm like, she ain't heard playing yet. But she just agrees to it and just say, tell me about it. Let's see what we're gonna do. And she might say, well, baby, what about this right? And I have to explain to her the things, and she was like, well, let's do this right here. So I may have something in my mind, a goal, and she was like, okay, that's fine, but let's do this right here. Let's add this. I'll take this back. So I may set a goal based on what we want to do. But my wife is really good about saying, I like this plan. Let's go for it. And if she wants some things, I jump on board with how she want to do things. So that's the part that I love about her. She co-signs all the good things, and then when I make bad decisions, she's like, well, it didn't work out so well. That's fine. We're gonna get back up and we're gonna continue. So I commend her, and I do it outwardly because I have made some mistakes, but my wife has never chastised me in a way where I feel like, no, I can't get back up and do better. Come
Right.
on, honey. That's we okay. We can recover from this
Very
right here.
supportive. Yeah.
Yeah. And we had some thumps too. Robin, no, we had some thumps, big thumps, and we just got back up and just kept on going and moving forward. And God has blessed us for pushing forward on our endeavors, every corner of the way. So I commend her just for being that good person in my ear. Just speaking to the king in me, I should say.
Right.
She does an awesome job with that. So.
What do you say? Because you're talking about couples. What's advice would you give to your singles?
So one thing about singles, like my wife said earlier, is like having that accountability partner. One thing our pastor always say, he says, that if you're single and you're looking to get married, you have to act as though that's what you are right now. You have to act as though I'm seeking that partner for life. And when you are dating, you're not dating to be dating, unless you want to date for the rest of your life. You're dating to have a partner that you can co-sign with moving forward. So how does that look like? How does that look like to you? So Robin always laugh at me. I always ask somebody when they date, what's his FICO score? Like, what? I was like, look, honey, the first date, you need to find out. Don't waste your time. Because if he like, who is FICO? What's that? Okay, then checkmate, leave.
Robin.
Leave. But I always tell people, if you need to understand where they are.
Exactly. Financially, where they.
You need to know.
Yeah.
And somebody say, well, but my last score, your last score, my last score was 450. Okay. Let me get my 450 car and get up out of here. I think that's important. I think that's important.
Yeah.
You have to know.
You have to know.
You have to know.
But also, I was reading that, which I didn't know this, that there's employers that provide financial coaches and advisors. So if you're a single person and you don't know anyone that you trust, because you have to be vulnerable with these people, pull out how you're spending, then check with your employer, because they may provide that service for you, and that person can guide you and be there for you and be your sounding board. So check with your employer if you don't have someone personal in your life. But I would definitely say, for a single person, look for someone personal in your life that you look up to, that you see doing well with their money, and you hear them speaking. Then ask them, would they be your mentor, your coach? And if not, also look at your employer, because they may offer it as well.
A lot of concierge services, through the employer.
Churches offer services too. Like Robin said, we say, one of the things we do at Raleigh North, we are part of the financial learning experience. We teach a 7-week course. Singles, couples, they come. It's a 7-week course, and we provide a service to help them understand their habits and their budgeting. And that's for singles and married people. So there's so many, and it's pretty cheap too. There's so many things out there. Your job, and my wife said, there's courses at church, there's courses where you can pay for coaching along your way to give you that financial stability. But the thing is that you have to seek that help, seek that accountability, seek that service.
Know that you need it too.
Right.
Recognize that you need the help.
Yeah.
And it's a good segue to talk about your business, right? Because you are financial coaches. So talk a little bit about what you do, what you offer, I should say.
So we have a financial app called Bags of Money app. It's out on the Android, Google Play Store. It's in the Google Play Store. We're doing some adjustments and tweaking it right now to get it exactly the way we want it, but it's still out there for download, and we're making some updates to it. And then once we get it the way exactly how we want it, then we're going to move it over to the Apple Store.
Okay.
So, and the app is a financial tool to help you manage your money. It requires you to be engaged in how you're spending your money, because it requires you to manually put your money, financial data in the app for it to work. It requires you to update it, make adjustments as you go along. So that means you have to be paying attention for it to work for you.
Good.
And it provides a calendar view, a daily and monthly calendar view where you can tap on the day and you can see where you are financially. It show you your checking balance. It show you your savings balance. You put in your income and your expenses. We have a pie chart that'll show where you're spending your money.
Okay.
If the big slice of pie is on entertainment and there's no slice for savings, you need to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
So this tool, and it's not tied to your bank account.
Okay. So people don't have to worry about it being connected to anything personal. Okay. All right.
Because we want you to open it up and look at it on a regular basis, putting your information in, checking it constantly, being aware. So we have the app out. We also do the financial coaching.
Let me add a little bit to the app there. So one thing my wife didn't add to is the app is once you put your income in once, let's say you get your check every 2 weeks or monthly, you put that amount in once, it's going to take that amount and it's going to post it throughout the course of the app months down the road. You put it in once and you can adjust it if the amount changes on a given date. Same thing for expenses. You got water bill, light bill. You put it in once and you can change it as you move forward to the accurate amount. But what the app really does is that you can go click on any date, any month, any year, and based on your spending and income habits, it's going to tell you what your potential checking balance will be. So today is March 28th. I can click on April 15th. And it's going to say, based on the income that you said you got coming in, based on your expenses you got going out, you're going to have this amount in your checking account based on your habits. So if you add more money to your checking account, that amount's going to change. If you take things out, that amount's going to change. So it actually predicts, it can adjust, it can predict and tell you how much you're going to have. And not only that, you got a bill coming up, let's say in 2 weeks, right? Okay. You can click on that day and say, I got a deal due X, Y, Z. You can click on that day and say, woo. The day before, I see I got enough money in my account the day before so that I can let this bill go through. It can tell you, and it's a daily view. It has a monthly view. And the monthly view, you can see the little dots on the thing. You can kind of click on it and you can say, okay, it's green for money and yellow for cautions. You got a bill. And any one of those days you can click on, it's going to tell you what that bill is. It tells you the total for the day. If I got 5 bills for that day at the top, it's going to say, here's your total for all those bills you got coming in. And it updates your checking balance that day. So it helps you to predict and make sure you can not be short nowhere. And it can give you an advance notice that's saying, well, you know what? I'm not going to have enough money that day. Let me put some money in my account because it says I'm going to be short on this. It'll be a negative balance. You got to add money. It'll be a positive balance. So it helps you to look in the future. Or what you have, you don't have. So
my friends have an app, y'all. Talk about the courses you offer as well, and how can someone connect with you if they want to bring in the course to their establishment, whatever their establishment is.
We have Money for Tomorrow financial coaching. We'll start there. The one-on-one coaching that we do. We touch bases with our clients, build a program for them, a plan for them, and basically their financial coach mentor hold their hand through the whole process, so that until they feel comfortable with being on a better financial journey. So we have that. We do have a financial program called, we titled it, Tell Your Money Where to Go, Assigning Your Money. So based on whomever would need us, if it's a day program, if a week program, we even got it extrapolated out to maybe a 6 or 7 week program where you meet once a week, telling you how to budget, identifying your expenses and income, identifying your needs and wants, and then building a plan from that, tracking your spending. So we have that program. And we also, of course, have our podcast, Financeology 101 is the platform we use as Podbean. So, and we do a variety of stories. We have, we had a, financial advisor come on and expand on some of the topics that we have. And we try to find people that specialists in the fields that we're
Yes.
talking about to come in and talk and give more information. So we have a lot of financial tools to help people do better with their money.
Yeah. And you mentioned financial advisor. And I think it's important for people to understand the difference between financial advisor and financial coaching. And Roy, I know we talked about this a little bit. When would you go to a financial coach versus a financial advisor, Roy?
So a coach is something like what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
We help people to get on their feet,
Mm.
to make everyday life decisions, budgeting, financial decisions as far as just being able to live day to day, manage your money day to day. And advisor is someone who say, I want some money and I want to know what to do with the money that I have.
Right.
Help me to say, I don't know, I got this extra money that I have laying around in my savings account. How can I invest it?
Right.
That advisor, that's going to help you to make long-term decisions, while coach is helping you making daily decisions.
Yeah. I think it's important for people to understand the two. Because I recently had someone said they were looking for a financial advisor. I was like, well, what are you trying to do? And really what they needed was a coach. Right.
Yeah.
So,
because
well,
the advisor is looking for you to already have your wealth built up. You're looking to place that lump sum of money somewhere. Where the coach is helping you just get it going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all, and I'm so glad to
thank you.
know I got some people in my circle who are financial coaches. So if I know someone who is needing some advice, I will definitely refer them to you all, needing some help and support. Anything we didn't talk about that you think is important for us to cover?
Let me see here.
Something I always say, just be engaged in your finances. You have to be engaged. If you want to have a bright financial future, it's never too late to start. It's never too late. So always, the earlier the better, definitely. So young people, start now. You probably not even thinking about retirement or thinking about the future, but most people live for today. But there's always tomorrow. So you have to prepare for tomorrow. So just be engaged in how you're spending. And one thing I wanted to mention is, I don't know if everyone's heard about that financial term that was the big thing in January called loud budgeting.
Loud budgeting.
No, say something about that.
Most Gen Z, that generation, loud budgeting is being able to say no to your friends because your money is being assigned somewhere else. Because back, we was like, no, I can't tell them no, so I'm gonna go ahead and go, knowing you don't have the money. But now they telling people, no, tell your friends, no, I can't go do A, B, and C. No, I'm not doing, because the money I'm using is for this, and this is for my retirement, is for my
absolutely.
Yeah. So be loud about where your money is going. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
Yeah. And we know, because I have some folks in my family I know who love to travel. I won't call them out. But it's like, you like to travel, but you got to pay your bills, y'all.
Yeah.
You got to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's okay. You want to do all that, but there's some life things that you got to pay for, and your parents can't always support you in doing that, especially if you're grown, right?
Right. Grown folk.
Yeah.
Because money matters can cause stress.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you know this right here, so I'm gonna throw some numbers out at you, right? I used it at my last conference that I had, threw out it was an all guys conference, and I threw out some numbers to them, and they was like, what in the world? It says, did you know that 33% of Americans have less than $100 in their savings account?
Say that again, Roy.
33% of Americans have less than $100 in their savings account.
Wow.
Right. I can go bigger than that. 13.48% of Americans have 10K or more. So you look at the other side, who has more than, that's not a big number.
Right.
10,000 is not a big number. So you guys figure out what are you doing with your money? How are you utilizing that money? When I was growing up, I was like, if I can make the amount of money of my age, just making money, not just saving, just making, I can go somewhere. They have different rules they kind of use. Like if you're 40 years old, you want to try to make save 3 times your income. If you're 30,
Right.
1 times your income. So by the time you're 30, you should have $30,000 in your 401k or something saved up. When you're 40, they talking about 3 times, 50, 6 times, 60, 8 times, 67, 10 times.
Right. Well,
So
because
those are large numbers. Those are large
it
numbers.
is, but it speaks to sort of where you are from a lifestyle perspective as well, right?
hmm
Because you
Big
want
time.
to get to the point where, I mean, as you're getting older, you may not want
hmm
to work the same type of job you were working, right? You
Amen.
may want to
Amen.
relax, right?
hmm
You may still want to bring in some income, but you may not want to work as hard, right?
Okay.
So if you have that
Okay.
money saved, you can still do some stuff. You don't have to
Right.
live like
Right.
you're a
Right.
pauper, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, to me is where you want to be. You want to be comfortable, right?
hmm
Wherever
Yeah.
you are in your life journey.
Yeah. So
Um, yeah,
you want to make sure you take care of yourself. So I always tell people this right here. If you take down your expenses right now, because this is a lifestyle that you have, and then you look towards retirement, can you sustain the lifestyle that you have? So if
right.
you're gonna live on Social Security, or if you're gonna have your retirement fund, can that sustain you? Will you have a house payment? Will you have a new car? Will you have a college bill to pay for? So you gotta look at those numbers. And if
Yeah,
your numbers don't line up, then you need to change some things now while you have time.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, y'all, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to
Oh,
see,
you're
we have a
welcome.
couple of people who are on. I don't know if you all have any questions. Please put it in the chat if you do. And if not, one of the things that I will do is I will keep a recording on my Facebook page. People
Okay.
can still go to my YouTube page and they'll be able to find it
Okay.
there. And I need to see where it started on Facebook because maybe it caught all of it. It may not have. So I'll make
Okay.
sure I will upload the StreamYard version
Okay.
of the
Okay.
video. That way people can see the full.
Okay. Okay.
Facebook is always starting something new. So I just saw those checks and I'm like, why they do that? But
Yeah.
anyway, we got it. We got it. But I
Yay.
Well,
appreciate y'all. I'm
thank
gonna
you.
put you in the
No,
green
thank you.
room
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
um,
Thank you.
I will make sure that I post your website
Okay.
information online,
Okay.
Okay.
which I know your tabs, you have the information about your app
Mhm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
classes, the
Mm-hmm.
courses that you
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
offer as
Mhm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I'm
Right.
so proud of
Mhm.
y'all. I really
Thank
am.
you. Proud of
Yeah,
you.
really, really, really proud of
Yeah.
y'all. My
Thank
circle,
you.
y'all are
Proud of you
doing some
too.
great things. So I
Thank
appreciate
So
you.
are
y'all.
you.
Okay, I'm
So
gonna
are
put you
you.
in a.
So are you. So thank
I
you.
look, we trying, right? We trying to make a
Yeah,
No,
we're
we no
difference.
trying.
we no we no we ain't
We
We
trying.
doing
We're
doing.
it.
We
doing
We
it.
doing
doing.
it.
We're doing it.
Thank
We're
you, thank
doing
you,
it.
Roy. Thank you, Roy. We're doing
We're
it.
doing it. We're
Yes,
doing it. We're doing
yes.
it.
I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna put you in the studio. But thank you everyone for joining. And as I said, if you missed the early part of it, because there was a button I was supposed to click, which I didn't have to click before. I will make sure I put the full StreamYard video. I upload it on Facebook. So for those who want to go back and watch, you can watch it from the beginning. But I appreciate y'all. This is the final finale of my JumpStart series. You can watch the other three that I covered. One was on fitness and health, and we had another one on oh God, living your dreams, and I forgot offhand what the second one was, but they're all on my YouTube. They're all on my YouTube page. I am going to be pivoting to a health series, so we'll have some people join me, some professionals join me. We're going to be talking about mental health, physical health, spiritual health. They'll all be different episodes, but y'all, I am just big on making sure that, or wanting to ensure that I'm covering topics that are really going to help folks um, to be their best as much as possible, right? Because if we're not in alignment mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, we are no good to others. We're no good to ourselves. More importantly, we're no good to others. And that impacts how we show up at work, right? Or really any situation that we're in. So we want to make sure that you are equipped with information that will help you to on the road to becoming better at wherever you need to make some adjustments for yourself, or in support of others. So please share the video, share my YouTube channel. I appreciate y'all, and stay tuned on my Facebook page for information, and my Instagram page for information about the next episode, which will be in April. Okay. Take care, everybody.
Bye.